The water was already still when the bathroom door opened. A 6-year-old girl lay motionless in the bathtub, her small body quiet, her eyes closed. Moments later, she was lifted out, dried and dressed carefully in a special outfit her mother had chosen ahead of time. It was a funeral dress. The mother smoothed the fabric, laid the child on a bed, and turned away. Then she walked down the hall toward another bedroom where her older daughter was sleeping, unaware that her life was about to change forever. The night was not over yet. What happened next would only be stopped by a child brave enough to fight back. This tragedy happened in South Carolina. Police later said the mother, Jamie Michelle Bradley Brunn, acted on a plan she had already decided. On that day, she was home with her children. The house looked normal from the outside. No screams were heard by neighbors. Nothing warned anyone that something terrible was unfolding inside. The youngest child, McKay, was taken into the bathroom first. Investigators said her mother filled the tub and held her under the water until she stopped moving. It was slow and quiet. There was no sign of an accident. When it was over, the mother did not call for help. She did not panic. Instead, she followed the next step of her plan. She dressed McKay in clean clothes meant for burial. She placed her gently on a bed, as if the child were sleeping. Prosecutors later told the court that this showed clear planning, not a sudden loss of control. The room was calm. The house was silent. Then the mother turned her attention to her second child. The older daughter was asleep when she was woken up and led toward the bathroom. She did not understand what was happening at first, but as soon as she saw the water and felt her mother's grip, fear took over. She fought back. She screamed. She kicked. Unlike her younger sister, she did not go quiet. Her struggle drew attention. The oldest daughter, a teenager, heard the noise and ran toward the bathroom. When she saw what was happening, she did not freeze. She pulled her sister away. She got between her mother and the child. She screamed for help and rushed the younger children out of the house. That quick action saved a life. When police arrived, they found the 6-year-old already dead. The older daughter, who had been attacked, survived. Investigators said the scene showed clear intent. There was no confusion about what had happened. The evidence told a clear story. But the question everyone asked was why? As officers began their work and the surviving children were taken to safety, the truth about what led to that night was still hidden. And as the mother was taken away in handcuffs, one terrifying thought remained unanswered. What had been going through her mind before she filled the bathtub? Police lights filled the quiet street as officers moved quickly inside the house. What they saw would stay with them forever. In one bedroom, a 6-year-old girl lay dressed neatly on a bed, her hair brushed, her hands folded. She looked like she had been prepared for goodbye. Officers confirmed she was already gone. The silence in the room felt heavy, almost unreal. In the bathroom, the bathtub was still wet. Towels were scattered nearby. Investigators immediately knew this was not an accident. The surviving children were taken away to safety. They were scared, confused, and asking questions no one knew how to answer. The oldest daughter, shaking but strong, told officers how she heard the noise and ran toward it. She explained how she saw her mother trying to drown her sister and how she pulled her away. Her quick thinking saved her sibling's life. As police searched the home, they found nothing broken, no signs of a struggle in the rest of the house. Everything looked calm, almost planned. That calmness made the crime even more disturbing. The mother was arrested and questioned. At first, she spoke quietly. She did not cry. She did not deny what she had done. According to investigators, she spoke as if she were explaining a task, not a murder. This shocked even experienced officers. As the case moved forward, more details came out. Prosecutors said the mother had thought about what she was going to do before that day. The funeral dress had been chosen ahead of time. This was not a sudden moment of anger. It was something she had decided on earlier.
Doctors and mental health experts were brought in. The defense suggested the mother was not thinking clearly, but prosecutors pushed back hard. They pointed to the steps she took after the drowning. They said dressing the child and placing her carefully on the bed showed awareness and control. The court listened as painful details were shared. Family members sat in silence. Some cried. Others stared at the floor, unable to look at the woman who had once been trusted with those children. The surviving daughters became the center of the case. One was a victim who lived. The other was a hero who stopped a second death. Their statements mattered. Their courage mattered. As the trial continued, the public learned more about the timeline. The house had been quiet that day. There were no calls for help. No neighbors were alerted. Everything happened behind closed doors. Then came the sentencing phase. The judge spoke about the loss of an innocent child and the bravery of the daughter who stepped in. The courtroom was silent as the punishment was announced. The mother was sentenced to decades behind bars with little chance of ever walking free again. But for the family, prison time could never fix what was broken. As the case officially ended, one question still haunted everyone who heard the story. If the oldest daughter had not acted when she did, how many lives would have been lost that night? And what warning signs, if any, had been missed before it was too late? The courtroom was silent when the sentence was read. No one moved. No one spoke. The words felt heavy as they filled the room. Decades in prison, a lifetime behind bars. The mother stood still, listening, her face empty of emotion. For the judge, the decision was clear. For the family, the pain would never end. Outside the courthouse, the world kept moving. Cars passed, people went to work. But for those connected to this case, time felt frozen. A 6-year-old girl was gone forever. Her name would now live in police reports, court records, and whispered conversations about a crime too painful to understand. The surviving daughters began a long road forward. They were placed in care, surrounded by adults trying to help them feel safe again. Nights were the hardest. Loud sounds brought fear. Quiet moments brought memories. One child lived knowing she almost died. The other lived knowing she stopped it. Counselors later said the oldest daughter showed rare courage. She did what many adults might freeze before doing. She acted fast. She chose her sister's life over her own fear. Because of her, one child survived. Investigators reviewed every detail again and again. They searched for warning signs. Had anyone noticed something was wrong? Had there been signs of planning? Could this have been stopped earlier? The answers were unclear. Sometimes tragedies hide behind normal-looking doors. The house where it happened was eventually emptied. The bathroom was cleaned. The bedroom was cleared. But the story stayed. Neighbors said they would never forget the flashing lights or the quiet afterward. The home would always carry a shadow. Across South Carolina, parents hugged their children tighter after hearing the news. Teachers talked gently with students. Communities asked hard questions about mental health, safety, and silence. But answers did not bring comfort to the children left behind. The mother would spend the rest of her life in prison. She would wake up each day inside concrete walls, far from the family she destroyed. The law had spoken. Justice, in its strongest form, had been served. Yet justice could not bring back a child. For the oldest daughter, life would always be divided into before and after that night. Before the bathtub, before the screams, before she ran down the hallway and changed everything. She would grow up carrying a memory no child should ever have. But she would also carry something else. She saved a life. As the years pass, the case will slowly fade from headlines. New stories will replace it. But for those who know the truth, the lesson remains clear. Evil does not always look loud. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it wears a familiar face. And sometimes the only thing standing between life and death is the courage of a child who refuses to look away. If this could happen in a quiet home, the question remains for everyone listening. What would you do if you heard something that didn't sound right next door?
The water was already still when the bathroom door opened. A 6-year-old girl lay motionless in the bathtub, her small body quiet, her eyes closed. Moments later, she was lifted out, dried and dressed carefully in a special outfit her mother had chosen ahead of